What happened while we were away, brought to you by a blast from the not-too-distant past. This is the end of the montage from February 20th, barely a month into the second Trump administration. A small claims court in New Mexico's Tularosa Basin has issued a universal injunction against the Trump administration's plans to fire Kyle, a blind Galapagos tortoise employed by the federal government to write interagency memos. When asked for comment, Kyle said, quote, "Ribbit, oh wait, that's what a frog says. What does a tortoise say? I don't know. What I do know is that this quote makes about as much sense as the federal government hiring a tortoise and a small claims court judge coming along to save my job. But somehow, this is more believable than a federal judge ordering the president to put web pages about trans stuff back up. But then again, what do I know? I'm a talking tortoise." That was the montage on February 20th. Fast forward to today, and not only was it prescient, it didn't go far enough. The U.S. Court of International Trade and a 3-judge panel ruled yesterday that President Trump cannot impose most of the tariffs he has on much of the world and must pay back the revenue already collected from those tariffs. This court has allegedly been around for 100 years, but it sounds made up, and now it's quite frankly just making up laws. Trump so far has been mum on the court's decision. White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller reacted to the news saying, quote, "We are living under a judicial tyranny. The administration has already appealed." Also yesterday, a U.S. District Court in Massachusetts blocked the Trump administration's ending of parole for thousands of non-citizens. Parole in this case means the Biden administration let these individuals stay in the country for a period of time, and Trump ended that practice. The Boston-based judge says Trump can't do that. FBI Director Kash Patel is doubling down on what he's discovered about Jeffrey Epstein.
But there is a lot of conspiracy theories out there.
There are.
The Epstein thing, you dealt with Maria, you said, as far as you know, he killed himself.
I'm telling you, he killed himself.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio continues to kill it. He announced last night that the Trump administration will, quote-unquote, aggressively revoke visas for a segment of Chinese students. Chinese foreign nationals studying in critical fields or those with ties to the Chinese Communist Party will be among the students targeted for removal. DNC Vice Chair David Hogg got by Project Veritas, where he dropped this nugget on undercover video talking about Dr. Jill Biden's chief of staff, Anthony Bernal, and how much power he actually had.
One question for me is, like, how corrupt is the DNC if so many people knew, or few people knew about Biden, well, the president of the United States?
I mean, I think the fact of the matter is the DNC is always going to be like a campaign arm of the president, ultimately. The bigger issue was like the inner circle that was around Biden. That's it.
And I can't stress to you enough.
Like Joe Biden's chief of staff, like, had an enormous amount of power.
Joe Biden?
Joe Biden's chief of staff.
That was like an open secret at the level. Like, I would avoid him. Like, he was scary.
What was his name?
Anthony Bernal.
I've never seen him.
Exactly.
What do you mean?
He's like a shadowy, like, Wizard of Oz type figure. That's what made him so, like, I knew how he looked, but I'm like, the general public wouldn't know how this man looked. But he wielded an enormous amount of power, and I can't stress to you how much power he had in the White House.
Apparently, Hogg's assessment of Jill Biden's chief of staff and the influence he enjoyed in the Biden administration is echoed in Joseph Goebbels' new book, Original Sin. Influencer brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate have been charged in Britain with rape and other crimes. The charges were authorized in January of last year, but not publicized. Andrew Tate faces 10 charges related to 3 women that include rape, actual bodily harm, human trafficking, and controlling prostitution for gain. Tristan faces 11 charges related to 1 woman that include rape, human trafficking, and actual bodily harm. And finally, this from the Babylon Bee.
In a move toward government efficiency, representatives in Congress passed a bill today calling for the mandatory printing of barcodes on their foreheads so that lobbyists can quickly scan their prices and self-checkout. The new system is intended to streamline the current process, making it easier to buy a congressman than ever before. The House voted to pass the bipartisan bill almost unanimously. It now goes to the Senate, where it is expected to pass with similar enthusiasm. According to the text of the bill, self-checkout machines will be installed at all Capitol exits to expedite the quick checkout of elected officials. Lobbyists will no longer have to deal with staffers and secretaries to get what they want. They can go directly to the politician of their choice.
You can watch that entire hilarious video on all the Babylon Bee's social channels, and that's what happened while we were away.